Oh, great. Let's not do this. Luigi, I swear to God. Come on, no. Luigi, I'm going to end your goddamn. Mario Party, Mario Party, Mario Party. Series that create memories and you wanting to strangle your friends. Right? Must you land? I'm not happening! I needed to start! Even the ones that you have an alliance with. Mario Party was simply that game that you would have brought out for all your friends after playing Mario Kart or even Super Smash Bros. And see who was the better man by chaos ensuing. You probably had friends that were better in Mario Kart, played Smash Bros. Better than anyone, but in the land of Mario Party, it was all about chaos. As described to someone that doesn't play Mario Party, imagine taking your chances and skills in those games and putting the fact that it's all about winning at the right moments. And you'll see why people either love this game or want to throw this game to the trash. Mario Party as a series is the example of saying luck is being a skill, or this was a deceiver's first step of learning manipulation. The series of Mario Party just has a long lasting history, in my opinion, of people telling tales of their greatest stories and their greatest accomplishments of playing the game. Getting to the 999 Club in Mario Party 3, how many stars they were able to get in Mario Party 6, doing Fair Square, and even something that is always fun of telling the story of how your friend lost a game of Mario Party by chance time. And the dreaded winning by one coin. I know there's one person watching this that has a stinging feeling when I said that. And so this brings up to this one, Mario Party 1. First one. As much talk has been about the others, I think this one has a special place in my heart. Yeah, it's not my favorite by far, but it's always the one that I always go back to because there's always some roughness about it. This isn't the one where we have to have a conversation about how it deals with items and is it good or all, but this one just has that factor of it's fucking Mario Party. There's nothing really fancy about it, but it just feels right. And so, since I'm in this Reddit snowstorm, I might as well play it just because, right? Well, for the first Mario Party, the plot is fairly simple. You have the gang that was the mainstays since 1998. We have Plumber, Green Plumber, I hate that guy, Damsel, Raptor, German Plumber, and Gorilla. Sorry, Toad, they're just not wanted here. So all these characters are arguing and saying that they're the superstars in their own interpretations of what it means to be one. Toad begins to actually make an argument on what a superstar could actually be and sharing up all their traits that they've been describing. Simple enough, trust me, it's a party game. You don't need to overarching plot where we get some gods to come down and focus on them to play. If you watched my videos, you probably noticed the joke about Sonic Shuffle. Screw it. Nobody actually watched that video. It's simple because there's a plot with these characters need a story like that. No, it's Mario Party. Mario Kart doesn't even do that. Well, the plot is simple. We have a whimsical menu system now, and we get to block designs with some dumb interface to make you buy more content. Perfect. With modes being party mode, your main game mode, your mini game house, the ones where you're able to play your mini games and you like to redo, and pick the ones that weren't picked. I explore more later. I'll explore more later. Your option house, it's the only reason why you want to hear the sound effects, or if you want to restart your Mario Party save. Ugh. Minigame Island, I'll elaborate on that later. Then you'll have to stop work, and that is the shop. I'll more describe this one soon, but let's just say this is how you get more fun out of your Mario Party. Trust me, after playing a couple of games, you'd be wanting to have a couple of these. Because come on, who wouldn't want to see the reaction of someone losing their coins just by a dice roll? Or even teleporting at the wrong place at the wrong time? And well, with all that talk, we actually should talk about the main dish of this, is actually how boards run and play. And well, Mario Party 1 actually has 8 different boards to play through. And it's the most in the series, fun facts. As with the entries, the closest that you would probably get is Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 10 of having 7, or Jamboree, but if we include them being rehashes. And by the game of semantics, Super Mario Party just has as much, but we don't want to talk about that. Or even Mario Party 7, or even Mario Party 10. Having 17 actually. Let's be real. Are we really going to be including these square maps? No, it's just not. I may be stupid, but I know that's bullshit. Let's actually get through the rules and to know actually how to play this board game. So after everyone selects their turn count, everyone is set to roll to see who goes first and who goes last, with the objective of gaining 20 or more coins to get a star and to continue on until the game is over. But after the full rotation of players, there's always a mini game that will happen that will gain more into the economy for the players. And so depending on the spaces you land, either being red or blue, will determine the outcome of what's going to be the mini game, in which 4-player, 1 versus 3, or 2v2 are the ones that usually happen. There are also spaces that are on the board that are called single player mini games, in which the player that lands on it has to do a task to earn more money, or even in some of them, lose them, in which there are opportunities on the board that will happen that will let you, the player, steal a player's coins or stars to gain up in the system. But at the end of the game, each game will determine to have 3 things that will happen, in which it would be a winner, bonuses, and most importantly, someone getting made a joke in the ending of each of these boards. In which it goes as this. The mini game star is going for the player that obtains the most amount of coins during the mini games. Coin stars are the ones that total amount from the whole game, and then happening is the player that lands on these green spaces. So there's always a reason to land on one of these bad boys, not just to see Toad get eaten. Unless your friends are sickos in which they play into the meta game. Like, no, bro. But let's actually get into these boards, in which the first one is the easiest of them all, which is DK Jungle Adventure. It is the most basic out of all of these maps, in which it is easy to understand and how this game works, as it shows around the board and in its impacts of opportunities of finding the stars. You also have opportunities of stealing the star with the boot, but to just say it, it's basic. There's a small little route, it has a little swamp that tells you that you can pay 10 coins to go the route that he's blocking, but most importantly, holy hell, this is basic. Like, I like the feeling of being in a jungle and the fact that you get a banana for winning the game, but holy hell, there's nothing to do here. Next is Peach's birthday cake. In my opinion, one of the more interesting ones strategy-wise, because its whole gimmick is that there is no changing routes, but there's piranha plants that you can plant into the cake in which you can steal player stars from. And so it kind of just devolves into becoming Murder's Row in a lot of ways. Because the minute that you step off the center and going back around, you got all of these spots right here. And it is going to be the worst feeling in the world when you lose your star. If anything, you'd actually want to meet Bowser for this one, because at least you get a couple of turns that you're not going to have to go back down, and you can get yourself a guaranteed opportunity. Yoshi's Tropical Island, where the whole premise of it is having 2 different maps that will change the location of the star, in which you have to go to these thwomps. And what these thwomps want? Money! In which for you to cross to the other side of the island where you can retrieve a star or go to Boo. But the biggest thing that will happen is that if you're playing a 50-turn game with one of your friends, one of them, and I mean one of them, is going to be the sicko that pays one of these 50 coins, in which it's going to be expensive to go to the other side. I'm not saying that I would, but I'm just saying there's sickos out there that will do it. I do think that the best thing about this is that there is a reason why to go on different sides, is that you can go and stay on the right side where Boo is, in which, yeah, you have a chance of just stealing someone's star and going and getting to meet Bowser or Toad all the time, similar in the other way, but you get Koopa to compensate you from going for each lap. Royal's Battle Canyon, a board that's built on reflexes and your best shot to get a star. With correct timing, you can actually get a lot of stars, and knowing how to put that in is going to be your biggest advantage. A board that I need 2 energy drinks to lock in, because you can have the luck of the draw and get all the stars that you want, or you can be misplaced and missing it by fucking 1. Personally, I always liked how this one was always depicted when Wario wins a game of Mario Party with this one. Come on, doesn't this look like a whole RPG party? Like, come on, look at this. You're telling me that Peach would be a cleric, Donkey Kong would be a vanguard, Wario being the leader of the group, and then you have your flunkies like Yoshi and Luigi, Luigi's Engine Room, or the more complicated DK Jungle, in which the board changes direction for each turn with the trickiest section is that not getting a dice roll if you want. And you probably have a chance of rolling low or jumping on the situation. It's just one of those boards that it's fun, but after a few times. As you can see, that the bigger issue in my opinion is that there's no help with the dice rolls. Later games would help by throwing a bone with it with a slow die, but yeah, there's a good chance that you're either going to be overstepping or underperforming in this one, especially with the star locations. Like, holy hell. I may not have been talking about DK Jungles being so simple, but yet that's the thing about that one that is actually good. I don't have to describe as much because it's already a decent enough board. This one will get you to have an aneurysm, especially with how some of the things go, and especially when you get in the bad case of rolling small numbers, feelings departments. But this one and the next couple ones are actually the most prone in my experience and me gathering gameplay footage of chance time. And if you don't know what chance time is, it is literally your best friend or your worst enemy.
Fucking bullshit!
Let me take it like this. During chance time, there's 3 blocks spinning. It has everyone that's included into it, in which the player can lose stars, coins, or even swap them around. And so, you can see me actually getting the luck of the draw here, and then me screwing myself. Because if you're someone that is a pro gamer, you know how to make things star in line, and then you have the schlebs that just don't even want to interact with it because of the simple fact that someone's gonna get fucked over and it's gonna be me somehow. Mario's Rainbow Castle, where it takes the idea from Peach's birthday cake and actually make it more about strategy, in which there's different pathways that you can go through to slow down your pacing on getting the star, because Bowser's actually one of the stars that you can actually get. And if you don't know what Bowser will actually give you, then that is actually you losing 40 coins. Mario's Rainbow Castle is your Peach's birthday cake that actually revolves around a little bit more strategy because of these simple pathways that you can go through. In which the main gimmick of it is that the star will change each time, in which by happening. In which Bowser would give you a star. And it's not like the other ones where you would lose a star because of this, you actually lose 40 coins. What the fuck? No, I want to keep my 40 coins. Just take the star. Now I'm about to lose the coin star because of you. Ugh. Well, with most of these, Boo is actually an option to go through because the fact that Boo actually steals stars and coins, but it costs a price, especially for the stars. Yep, it would be 50 coins for that. So it is a big decision to play, but it's not one of those plays that you think that it would be the easiest thing to do, but it's one of those plays that when needed, you're gonna have to get it done. And well, after defeating these boards, that you actually unlock one new board in which that would be Magma Mountain. And take the idea of the interesting aspect of Peach's, Luigi's, and Mario's board and make that the main gimmick of being out of spite. Because Bowser loves his red spaces and you're going to be losing money throughout this whole map. There is no reason to try and save up and try to win the coin star. It is all about just not landing on this space right here. Because all the time that he's just going to summon it, and for the next 2 turns, everyone's going to be losing money. But the one thing I really don't like about this map is this right here. This whole thing just pisses me off sometimes. Because it's not the fact that, it's a 50-50 chance of, taking shortcuts. That's understandable. We live in the current era. There's worse things you gotta pay for. But it's the main thing that the fact that these are predetermined fucking rolls. This just pisses me off more than anything. It's not the things like the dice is being predetermined regularly, it's the fact that this right here is, and it just rubs the wrong way. But after all that, you will, be happy with what you got. And you've probably noticed one thing if you played this by yourself like I have during this. Where the hell are my stars? Where are they? Yes! So, the main thing that Nintendo wanted this to be is a party game. And so if you wanted to play the secret board, you had to collect 100 stars. In which, if you're playing by yourself, I don't even think that'd be a long enough time to really consider it to be a fun thing to do. Just imagine it. If a game is roughly under an hour, to get all those is you having to play the most perfect game possible, in which that would be pretty time consuming when you do the math. That's literally over hours to get 100 stars. Like a 40-hour work week amount of time. And so you better get your friends and put them at gunpoint because guess what? You're gonna need them to be doing this, or if you have extra controllers lying around, do 50 turns with them. Yes, I know this is the dumbest way of doing it, but it's the smartest way out of anything. When you start a game up, make sure you have 4 controllers out and just place them in before anything happens. In which after that, just sit and wait, read a book or something. But once the final turn hits, you can actually just put all your players back in and you would actually collect all the players' stars. In which, yeah, it's a hassle. But hey, more stars, more coins, and everything, we actually get the secret board of Eternal Star, in which this board's main gimmick is the fact that it changes around every time. And so, the board's gimmick is that teleportation is the main thing to go around, in which once you find one of these Koopa kids, you actually, wait, my bad. Once you find one of these baby Bowsers, you'd actually be able to get the stars from them in the same way that you usually would think. But landing on happening, you would actually lose your positioning and head back to the start. As in the other ways of you getting back to the start is actually finding Bowser, and he would actually change the teleportation routes. In which, yeah, this is the most annoying part if you're someone that's trying to do this 100% thing. And well, you completed Mario Party, right? Oh yeah, you did. But I still got things to talk about in this video, in which we have to get into the minutia of things, in which that is the mini games. Because the mini games have always been the best part of Mario Party, if anything. 'Cause yes, I like looking at these boards, but you know what? When game time is here, we all gotta win somehow. In which, if you're someone that has never played Mario Party 1, you probably have seen this screen up here before, in which this is why Mario Party 1 kind of has its little weird in history to Nintendo, as it is the one that had the most controversy. No, it isn't like seeing some weird censorship that happened. It's not something like had to change something because of current events. It's just the simple fact that Nintendo didn't think that players would actually use their palms and not their thumbs for spinning the joystick. Ah, yes. The whole lawsuit thing is one of the more interesting parts of Nintendo because it is the dumbest thing that you can ever think of. Because when you play single player mini games like this one, I mean, what are they thinking I was going to be using my thumb? Yes, because kids want to have the most fast way possible to get something done. It is the easiest way, it is the most, I guess you would say, ergonomic way of tapping, but what were they thinking with this? Now, I wasn't playing on original hardware, I was actually playing on Nintendo Switch Online, in which, yeah, it's not the best thing, but trust me when I say this, when I used to play this as a kid, I used to play with GameCube controllers, and with the little rubber piece not being there, it was scuffed. I remember the sharp pieces. I used to get blisters, and let's just say that I earned my stripings. But there's actually more things that are interesting about these minigame selection, because as basic as these are, I actually just like how simple they are in a lot of ways, because a lot of them are just really once I'm thinking of, oh yeah, that's a great idea, kind of mini games. Because who wouldn't want to have a bomb tossing minigame where the loser has to pay out 5 coins to everyone, right? Or what about this? Why don't we play some basketball with a bomb? But then they'll bring something out that's like a gold piece like Shy Guy Says. And who doesn't like Shy Guy Says? Get the fuck out. Get the hell out. Now, the one thing I would actually give my criticism is that I just didn't feel like there was enough mini games that felt fair in a lot of ways. Trust me, when you look at a lot of the 1v3s, it kind of just feels like, yeah, let's just torture the one player. Like, look at this. Yeah. Now, I think I would give that a pass because of the fact that they had 4 different minigame selections because you also had single player minigames, in which these are just minigames for one player, in which you're able to get more coins than you would by doing a regular minigame. In which I have to give my golden stars for my favorite minigames would be Facelift, because who doesn't like making Bowser look stupid? Mushroom Mix-Up, a game that's so simple but yet so fun to just screw your friends over. Bombsketball, like come on, doesn't want to do an alley-oop. And Castaways, in which, fun fact, this one I actually learned how to actually do this properly. If you actually look at the islands on your right, you can actually tell when to actually throw it if you're on that side. Especially if you're the farthest away, look at the palm trees, and if you're the third person, just look at the edge of the island before you throw it. It's honestly the easiest way to do it, to get all the far ones. I know it's stupid, but it's not. In which this actually brings to one of the coolest things about Mario Party 1, and that is that the fact that it actually has a single player campaign in some ways, in which that is Minigame Island, in which the whole objective of Minigame Island is to simply go through these levels and complete one by one, in which you would gain lives and coins. But it isn't like those other ones where it's actually a whole story mode, it's just the challenge mode. In its easiest of ways, you're just trying to retrieve what is ever the objective that has to be done. So if that means that you gotta get 30 coins in Castaways, you better know how to get that shit done, because you are not leaving it until you get it done. In which that is your way to actually unlock a special minigame, in which it's the Bumper Ball Maze. And if you like bumper balls, I guess this one's cool for you too. It's just not worth it in my opinion. Wholeheartedly, I really consider this mode as the I got nothing to do today and let me actually complete a couple things instead of playing an actual game of Mario Party. Mario Party 1 really felt like the most raw out of all of these. And I'm not saying in the cool factor, I am saying in the authentic parts. Because I'm sure with knowing that its sequel would actually be the one that usually gets dropped onto virtual consoles or the one that always gets talked about, Mario Party 1 is kind of gained a reputation of being the cruelest but most fair Mario Party in a lot of ways. It isn't the one that is really on the economy on the coins, but it is the one that really treats everyone as just figure it out kind of mindsets, because I am more certain that there's a lot of people that would say that all these other Mario Parties are their favorites, but you know what? When you see someone that says Mario Party 1 is their favorite, you kind of have to look at them and you kind of have to say, oh, you're a real one for liking this one. Because trust me, it's certainly not on my top list, but there's always something that you have to respect about the original entry. And I really think that Mario Party 1 has that respect, where of being so different from later entries and yet being so similar, where it doesn't get the weird stitch that Mario Party 9 and 10 gets. Overall, I think that Mario Party 1 is a great Mario Party game. It's just the one that I feel like that if you're going to play this one, you're playing to see your friends' reactions of playing this one. Hi, I appreciate if you watched all the way through of this video. The whole reason why I needed to do this whole video was just for the simple fact that I got a new capture card and I wanted to test it out. But if you watched it all the way through and you got here, I always appreciate it. Leave a like, comment for my sake and the engagement. And if you really thought my video was fun, give me a subscribe and maybe next time I'll review one of the other Mario parties. Bye.